This episode is brought to you by Starpil Pro. Starpil Pro is your new online portal for professional discounts and preferred pricing on wholesale waxing supplies. Stay tuned for an exclusive invite to Starpil Pro at the end of the show.
Hello, welcome back to season 2 of Pink Table Talk. My name is Yali, community manager here at Starpil, and I just want to welcome you back. Happy New Year. It is the start of a new season, and I'm really excited for this season of Pink Table Talk. I'm here with Taylor Shipley. You might have spoken to her on the phone, on email, whatever the case may be, right? She might be your Pam. She's also a licensed esthetician. And today, she is a very special guest. We're going to go into how to use hard wax like a pro. And who better than a hard wax guru? So I'm really excited.
Me too.
Taylor, just introduce yourself. Let the people know a little bit about you. And
Sure. So I'm Taylor. I'm a licensed esthetician. I'm from Maryland. I grew up in the DMV. I have my own clinic there where I also offer waxing services. I've been with Starpil since September. I love being here. I'm excited to be here with you, Yali.
Yay! Yeah, so she's actually visiting for a couple of days from Maryland, so it's a really special occasion today. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get into what is hard wax, how to use hard wax, best practices and techniques. And Taylor's really going to give us a lot of insight on how she might, apply that to your clients and in real life in your salon, in your waxing salon. So, and I forgot to mention, Taylor is the co-host of the podcast Skin and Some Shit. So if you are on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, it's on everything. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Pandora.
Nice.
Yes.
So make sure that you subscribe and give her a listen.
Yes, please do.
All right. So hard wax.
Mm-hmm.
What is hard wax, right? I brought some of the hard wax that we're going to be showing you today. We actually are going to do a demo. Taylor is going to wax me. If you want to skip to that portion, you can click this button right here and skip straight to the waxing, to the underarm wax. Okay.
Beautiful Starsoft.
Here we go. Yes, so this is stripless hard wax. So you can see this one is a beaded form. It comes in a bag like this. Sometimes it'll be in a box depending on, what it is. And it's a hard wax that's used without strips. Mm-hmm. So you don't need anything else but the wax itself to apply and remove.
Yep. It's less abrasive.
Real popular.
Yes.
These days.
Very popular.
And the whole thing about hard wax is that it sticks to the hair.
Only the hair, not the skin. Correct. So you run a very low risk of lifting skin, burning, all that.
Exactly. So this is what we're going to be using today. I'm really excited. This is actually a hypoallergenic formula that we have. So it's a premium formula. If anybody has sensitive skin, hard wax is typically...
all that. Oh yeah, the hard wax is definitely the way to go if you have allergies, sensitive skin, reactive skin. Definitely the way to go with hard wax.
Yeah. So I guess that's really what separates it from hard wax, soft wax. If you're trying to make that decision, like which wax should I go with?
Yeah, especially if you do more Brazilian intimate areas waxing, definitely do hard wax, soft wax.
And you use mainly, what do you use mainly?
I do all hard wax for head to toe, all hard wax.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So you guys are going to be able to see exactly how we get into that for something like a gentle area, underarm waxing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So tell us, Taylor, a little bit about how to use hard wax.
So to start, the hardest part I train people. The people struggle with removing the wax from the pot because they let it drip down too far on the stick, and that throws off your whole application. So it's very important to get the bulb on the end of the stick. So you put it in, you do a little whoop-de-whoop, little twirl, get it on the stick, and then lots of pressure going down. But the hardest part is getting the bulb on the stick, and everything else.
You'll see a lot of people maybe dip and not twirl, and then you have strings of wax going all over the place.
Yes, and it gets on your glove because then it spreads too much. But if you get a nice bulb on the end of your stick, everything will go smooth.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I want to add a point there too, because like Taylor's saying, you have to hold your wax stick
45-degree angle.
Yeah. Yes. Typically right at the end of the wax stick, and once you get that bulb on, if you hold it at that angle, that's going to be the best possible position for you to be able to maneuver your wax and apply the wax in the strip that you're wanting, right?
If the wax is dripping off of your stick, it is entirely too hot. You should be able to twirl it and keep it swirling and just have it stay at that ball. But if it's dripping, it's too hot. If it's just like not doing anything at all, it's too cool.
Yeah. Perfect indicator.
Mm-hmm.
It's not moving. Turn up the heat a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And one thing that's a good practice too, best practice when using any wax, hard, soft, roll on even, is to test it on yourself first.
Yes.
If you're not if you're unsure, maybe just do a little strip on the inside of your wrist before
That's what I do, especially if I'm using a newer formula or a new wax that I haven't used before, because it might look different. Like it might look too warm. Like Starsoft, sometimes people get confused and it looks warmer than what it really is. It's not. But definitely apply it on your arm first, and that way you can feel the pressure too if you're using enough pressure for application as well.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, make sure your client's comfortable too. If you're gonna apply it on them, how's the temperature?
Right. Especially if you apply it and it's too hot on your arm, it's definitely gonna be too hot in your Brazilian, your underarm area. So, yes.
100,000%. I think that's a little bit different too with I guess with both soft waxes, but like after your initial strip, the next strip is gonna feel even hotter.
Oh yeah,
on your client.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
that's a great point.
Temperature, the actual initial move of picking up the wax out of the pot. Those are two very important things to get the process started.
Yeah, and always stir your pot too. I think waxing is a lot of multitasking, so people get caught up and don't think about having to always stir your pot in the middle of a service, but you do. Yeah.
Okay, I actually want to touch on that a little bit more.
Sure.
A lot of estheticians, maybe newer estheticians or whatever the case may be, maybe if you just upgraded to a larger pot, you know, you have that hard top that sits in the middle, and people think that now I need to start swinging my dial back and forth because it's not ready. Okay. But in reality, it's under that.
Yeah, you just gotta like flip that that thick layer on top. Just stir it, and the warmer wax on top will melt. If you do have to adjust it, just by a little bit, but you don't have to keep constantly like adjusting the temperature. Just stir it. I promise it'll make a huge difference.
I've really struggled with that. When I was first starting.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I have this hard top now. I need to swing my warmer all the way up to like near 100, and now I have
too hot
boiling wax. But the reality is your perfect wax is sitting either on the corner, you know, on the rim closer to the well, or it's right under that hard top.
Exactly. I think people too get caught up in the temperature and not looking at the consistency of the wax, because your pot might say it's 100 degrees, but your wax might be 50. You know,
1,000% agree.
It's definitely, you have to, but that comes with experience, is learning to recognize when your wax looks correct.
Yeah, learn your hard wax. Learn your waxes in general, especially if you're using more than one formula.
Absolutely.
Take the time to realize if it's a cold day, like if you live somewhere that gets really cold, realize if it's a cold day, you might need warmer wax. If it's a hotter day, you might need cooler wax. Like Taylor's mentioning, the consistency over the temperature. Cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the actual application and removal and treating different body areas and, you know, performing different waxing services with hard wax.
Sure. So like waxing, any waxing, hard or soft or roll on, apply with the hair growth, pull against. With hard wax, you can do reverse strips, but those are just cleanup strips to get the little stubborn hairs that don't want to.
So do you do your cleanup strips after you finish the entire service, or do you do your cleanup strips initially after that section?
Normally after I'm done the whole service.
The whole service?
Yeah, after I'm done the whole service. Especially so if I'm doing a Brazilian, I'll do the whole front and then do the butt strip and then check to make sure I got everything, because I like to rest my eyes. Yeah. So I like to do a double look over to see if I missed any little ones, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, and I do cleanups that way. I do know some people though that do cleanups in between.
Right after.
Yeah, I
do that for mainly legs if I'm doing hard wax. I can see that. Legs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because legs can be real daunting.
Yeah.
With hard wax, in terms of almost feeling like you're going into a secondary service afterward with the cleanup strips, because legs, it's such a large area and the hairs.
I feel like that with arms.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think I wax like that with arms.
Where you do the cleanups initially, right after?
Right after. Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of just move on. Don't.
Yeah, exactly. Just get it done.
Nice. Okay, so what you mentioned about applying with the hair growth and pulling against the hair growth. There's a lot of controversy in this industry about, if it's okay with hard wax, if it's not okay with hard wax. What's your take on that? Because I see, you know, every esthetician has their, excuse me, every esthetician has their own technique. So
yeah, for me personally, I always just apply with the hair growth and then do reverse strips. That's just works for me. And I also kind of feel like, yeah, we're the professional, but clients also notice that too. Like, oh, why is she going backwards? And it's cringy to me to see people go backwards, especially if it's their initial strip, just because like, why? Like you're gonna break hair, I feel like.
Yep.
But cleanup strips, go backwards, go forwards, go sideways, do it all.
Go around.
Yeah, just go, because not every hair isn't gonna grow in the same direction. So you're gonna have those little weird ones. So
right.
Yeah.
You actually might see that today on my underarms, the hair growing in a little bit of different direction. So you might see Taylor, you know, put one strip down this way, put one strip down that way. So maybe you'll be able to see that.
Yeah, that's a regular thing for underarms too. They grow different.
Okay, so let's go into the removal. We're moving closer and closer to the actual demo. So let's go a little bit into the removal and the best practices to remove hard wax specifically. Remember, this is a huge difference between soft wax and hard wax.
Correct.
You're not using strips, and your technique needs to, on the application, your technique needs to set you up properly for the removal. So that it's easy breezy, and especially if you're working on like the Brazilian, you don't want to be tugging on a hard wax strip 1,000 times.
And that's the absolute worst.
Talk to us about that, Taylor.
So for removal and technique, obviously they go hand in hand. If you don't use enough pressure to apply that strip and you go to pull it, it's either going to get stuck, it's going to be gummy, or it's going to break, and your client is probably going to hate you. So lots of pressure. Make sure obviously the temperature is correct, but lots and lots and lots of pressure. You're going to break a stick before you hurt a client with pressure. I promise you. And then obviously make a lip at the end of the strip, and then pull, remove, pull. So it's always important to keep the skin tight and taut, and pressure after you remove it. Major key.
Got it. So speaking on the lip, the way that your wax strip should look for you to be able to pull.
It should be not too thick, but it should be a decently thick strip with a clean edge. If the edge is too thin, it's probably going to break. But with hard wax, you can always go in and put a little bit more wax on top without compromising the integrity of the strip. That's not a big deal. That doesn't make you a bad waxer. I touch up strips all the time. It is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
We actually have a couple of videos on our Starpil on our Instagram where we demonstrate how to handle a wax strip that turns out too thin at the edge that you need to apply more on, or if your wax strip does break, how to go about that.
It happens.
There's a couple of different ways, right? You can just stick the part that's broken
put
back onto the strip and pull it, or you just add some more hot wax, wait for it to dry, and pull it as if it was a
brand new strip. I do both. It just depends on.
You make it work no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Waxing, especially speed waxing and hard waxing, it's all troubleshooting.
Yep.
So it takes practice. Just don't get overwhelmed. Trust your knowledge. Trust yourself, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and with hard wax, you can maneuver in so many different ways.
You absolutely can.
Cool.
Absolutely.
I want to touch a little bit on how to maneuver through parts that are very hairy. So parts and where to end your strip, or how to make your a clean pathway when you're working on an area that has plenty of hair. So ending your wax strip in an area that has hair, or being able to remove hair, so that way when you go in with larger strips, they're not, the end of it is not sitting on hair.
That it depends. So for like a Brazilian, if someone has a hairy butt, I will wax like the little teardrop shapes at the end. That way when I apply the labia strip, there's only skin there. For a back, especially if they have like a hairy chest too, sometimes it's just going to be a little uncomfortable just for a quick second, but promise it won't be that bad. But definitely just try to find a way to create where there's skin only. That's my
like
best
an airplane runway for the rest of your
absolutely.
strips.
I mean, that's what it looks like.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I don't know if we touched on the purpose of that, but it's just so it's more comfortable for your client.
For your client,
especially those little butt hair. Like those are like the baby hairs on your neck,
God,
but on your
so
butt.
bad.
Yeah, they hurt so bad.
They hurt so bad. So it's definitely important, especially to make a thicker lip, because if you're just like plucking and picking at the lip, it's so uncomfortable.
Your client's gonna feel real ways about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we talked a little bit about technique, application, removal, and just maneuvering the certain circumstances that you'll find yourself in, and how to gather yourself, get out of it. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about your favorite Starpil formulas, because you've used some of the polymer ones and the original.
Yes.
What do you like?
So personally, I've just been experimenting with Starsoft and the original blend. I'm used to quicker drying formulas, so just like a little, I want to say 50-50, maybe 60-40. More Starsoft is the perfect combination for me. Nice. Yeah, for Brazilians. And then for larger areas like legs, chest, I prefer just Starsoft.
Nice.
Yeah, because the spreadability is just, it's beautiful.
Yeah, legs will really just suck the life and moisture out of your hard wax, and it can be,
it will.
You're working against the clock with that. Nice. So Taylor, all the waxes that she's mentioning, right, like Starsoft, for example, the one that we have today, it is a premium wax. Not to say that each of your waxes that you use, or if you use even one formula, I know some estheticians who do use one formula for everything.
I'm used to using one formula, but there's just so many options. You know,
there's a lot of options.
Yeah,
but just using a good quality wax
makes all the difference.
Makes all the difference. I mean, ultimately, you are in charge of handling your wax, right? A lot of it is what you can and can't do. It is your skill and it is your technique. But using a wax that performs, we have plenty of waxes that have certain ingredients that do have an effect on the skin, on the hair growth, your pre and post, all of that.
Oh yeah, especially the pre and post. Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into the wax demo, let's give you a little bit of pointers. If you are considering going to get waxed, if you're a potential client in this case and you're watching this video, how do you prepare for a hard wax? So what would you say?
For a client? For a client, definitely do not come after happy hour. Please.
That sounded personal.
Alcohol, like, I understand people like, oh, I want to take the edge off, but I promise you it's going to make you sweat. It thins your blood. It's going to make you more sensitive to the wax. Okay. So that's no good. Caffeine as well. You're not going to die, but definitely avoid caffeine. I don't like people come straight from the gym, just because bacteria, sweat, whatever. It just can create the potential for an infection. Yeah, but caffeine and alcohol, definitely top.
Avoid them.
Yes.
Get that Starbucks after, okay?
Please. Yes, after.
And when you feel nice and fresh.
Yes, then you can go on a happy hour.
Exactly.
Yes, it's a quick service. It won't be there long.
I would say clothes is a huge one. Definitely don't come in like maybe tight jeans or something.
Yes. Leggings, all that.
So that you can breathe and you don't have that friction after your wax. You don't have that friction rubbing against your freshly waxed skin.
That can cause ingrowns too, and breakouts.
Yes.
Definitely exfoliating. I don't recommend exfoliating the day before, and 2 days after. But if you do a day of, it can cause irritation and over exfoliation too.
Definitely be real sensitive.
Yes, which can also cause ingrowns.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a couple of tips. If you are on the client side, if you're on the esthetician side, you already know.
Yes.
Make your client feel comfortable. You don't have anything that your client may need, like Taylor said. Maybe you didn't just go to the gym, but maybe it's hot as hell outside, right? No, maybe it's real hot outside. Have some wipes, have anything for your clients. Anything that they need. And just get into it.
I try to keep tampons in my studio too. Yeah.
And one thing I do want to mention, definitely adjusting your formula to your client. So if you feel that, or like we mentioned before, like if your client has acne prone skin, for example, and you know that you have a formula on hand like Calendula that is tailored to that skin type, just making that decision, or just taking a couple of minutes at first to evaluate the situation before going in. Or if you know the person, then you already know.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much
why it's important to have more than one warmer.
Yes.
Multiple formulas on hand, because you never know. You know, especially if it's a new client and you see that they do have acne prone skin and a bunch of ingrowns, you might want to,
approach it a little bit different. Yeah. Great point.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we are ready to get into the demo. How do you feel?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay, nice. So underarm wax with Starsoft hard wax. Let's get right into it and we'll be back.
All right. So Yali, how was it? How was the wax?
Amazing. I love getting my underarms waxed.
I do too.
I cannot lie.
I do too. It's so quick.
It's quick, painless, not painless, I would say for me particularly. Everybody is a little different. But it's like, I don't know. I don't want to sound weird. It's like that comforting. I don't mind it.
I can see that.
No, I really like Starsoft too. The way it's super gentle and it really, you see the baldness. It was great.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Taylor's hand. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. How did you feel? How'd you like?
Good. I like Starsoft. Underarms are always just so quick and easy for me. Even if they're super hairy, it's still a quick, easy service.
Nice. Yeah. So as you can see, the performance is there. The everything that you could ask for from a stripless hard wax, I think is there.
Agreed.
So, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Taylor, for being here, for coming all the way out to Miami to be here. You'll be seeing more of Taylor in general with Pink Table Talk or, some of our videos that we put out this year. So I'm really, really excited about that. Really excited to have her and to, welcome her into this space and introduce her. And if she is your Pam, give her a shout out in the comments. And let us know what you'd like to see more of this year.
Yes, agreed. Thank you, Yali.
So for more information on how to use hard wax, visit starpilwax.com. And on our Waxapolitan blog, you'll find how to use hard wax like a pro. You can actually just pop it in the search bar and it'll give you all the information you need, including a video with visuals on temperatures that we talked about, temperature and consistency. To purchase any of the hard wax formulas that we have available, plug in code PINKTALK at checkout for 15% off of your order. That's PINKTALK at checkout for 15% off of your order.
This episode was brought to you by Starpil Pro. Wholesale Wax Reimagined. The Starpil Pro portal is a new online portal where you can manage your bulk orders with the ease of just a few clicks. No more time-consuming phone calls or email threads. Supply your business in style with Starpil Pro. The link to apply for your account is in the description box below.
Make sure to follow us at Facebook and Instagram at Starpil Wax USA and on Pinterest at Starpil_wax. And to watch the next episode of Pink Table Talk, make sure you turn on the notification bell on YouTube so that you don't miss out. We will see you next time.